It's a lovely Thursday evening in Silkeborg, Denmark. Lovely silhouette by the riverside in this city in the central part of Denmark. It's about a 3-hour drive north of Copenhagen, but this week it is the home of the finest women curlers in the world. We're here for the LGT World Women's Curling Championship. Look at the town square and our venue, the beautiful Silkeborg Sports Center. Our home this week for the LGT World Women's Curling Championship. Here's a look inside. For our feature match tonight, in session number 17, Japan is facing Switzerland. I'm Hans Frauenlove, and I'm joined tonight by the one and only, the legendary Rona Howie. Hello, Rona.
Good evening, Hans.
Fans from all over the world here in Silkeborg supporting their teams. The Swiss team, cowbells at the ready. We'll hear them tonight. And let's meet the teams. For Japan, at lead, Hasumi Ishigoka. Seina Nakajima is the skip, and she throws second stones. Chiaki Matsumura is at third, and throwing fourth stones for Team Japan is Ikue Kitazawa.
And for Team Switzerland, at lead, Melanie Barbizat. Second, Esther Nuenschwander. Skip, Silvana Terenzoni, playing third stones. And throwing fourth stones, Elena Patz.
It's Thursday night, and that means we're getting near to the end of the round robin, so the playoffs are getting into view. Sweden, the only team qualified so far, leading the pack at 8-1. Korea right behind them at 7-2. Russia at 7-3. Switzerland right in the hunt at 6-3. China at 6-4. Japan at 5-4. So a huge game for both teams tonight. Canada, the US, and Germany, followed by Scotland, Denmark, Finland, and Latvia in this 13-member association competition. We've got 4 games going on tonight here in the arena. We will keep an eye on all of them for you. On sheet A, that's where our feature game will be. On sheet B, Sweden takes on Germany. On sheet C, Scotland faces Russia. And on sheet D, it's Korea versus China. Good crowd here on a Thursday night in Silkeborg. There we see our competing teams. And Rona, this one is just a huge game. We're finishing the round robin phase tomorrow, and these teams both with legitimate playoff hopes.
Yeah, they both do, and this is such a vital game for both teams to win.
Switzerland really on a bit of a roll now. They had a huge comeback win last night over China, and another win following that. So the Swiss team seems to be gathering steam.
Yeah, they've been gathering momentum as the week's going on, which is what, in a way, you want to do to build up into the playoffs, but they still have to get there. They're not guaranteed yet.
This Japanese team had a good win this morning as well, defeating Latvia, so both teams coming in here with positive thoughts. And there's Silvana Terenzoni making her way up to the playing end. Wherever you're joining us in the world, we're glad you're with us. Hope you enjoy it. We certainly are going to. Japan has last rock advantage here in the first end, by virtue of the pregame last stone draws, and there you get a look at the distances. Japan with a good margin over Switzerland in the last stone draw. Japan's playing the red stones, and Switzerland will play the yellow stones tonight.
Yep, and that draw shot that you saw there, it's going to become more and more relevant as the week goes on when we get to that playoff situation.
Absolutely right. It's a secondary tiebreaker, and we'll explain that through the game. Melanie Barbizat gets us underway. Swiss lead.
So, Patsy, ist mega weit draussen. Ja, hält mich auf. Fest. Fest, kommen. Fest, fest, fest. Noch ein näher. Kommen. Weiter.
Center guard for the Swiss, and Nakajima immediately says, let's go around it. So Japan's feeling a bit frisky, wanting to mix it up right away. Asumi Ishiguka, one of 3 players on this Japanese team for whom this is their very first ever international competition.
And you wouldn't know it the way they've been playing this week.
Yeah, wish we'd play like that in our first international. Great shot.
It's just about come out the other side.
Maybe a quarter to a third of the rock available for Melanie Barbazot. So Turnzoni's asking her to make a play at it. This game is on sheet A, so spectators on that side have got a bird's eye view of this game. It's a lovely little venue for curling here, Rona. The fans are right up close, and it's compact and ideal for curling.
Yeah, it's been a great venue. Nice conditions have been great.
And the organization here has been outstanding. The host committee here in Silkeborg and the Danish curling have done a terrific job hosting the event this week. The inside roll behind the guard, very nicely done by Ishiguka. Here are the rules of play. It's 10 end games, but 6 ends at a minimum. Each team has 38 minutes of thinking time. Each team has 1 60-second timeout. Barbazot being asked to run her guard straight back onto the Japanese stone. Very nicely done, squarely on the nose. Terrific shot. That's quite a long raise.
Oh, Rye smile. That'll do nicely.
Yeah. Esther Neuenschwander. Sorry, that was not Melanie Barbazot. That was Esther Neuenschwander, and that was a beauty. So now Seina Nakajima is going to try to duplicate that feat. Actually just looking to clear the guard, so happy to roll it away. That's the safe play for Japan. They've got the hammer in the first, so just trying to keep it open, Rona.
Yeah, they're better that than going for the run back, leaving a guard, stuff it, and then you're in trouble and you're chasing the end. So they have given themselves a long corner guard. It's a long way still in the end for Switzerland to keep guarding. And anyway, it's only top 12 foot, so it's not really good enough to win the end.
Esther Neuenschwander, the Swiss second after that really good run back, now being asked to play a draw. Very impressive when you can make that adjustment in the first end of a game, throwing the big weight hit and then throwing a draw to the tee line. Very nicely done. Nakajima. Very quiet delivery, Rona. She's very still throughout her slide.
Yeah, very minimal movement, which is great because less can go wrong.
It's like a machine, the fewer moving parts, the better sometimes. Inside roll goes to the back 8. Three more draws tomorrow, Friday. And then we'll know who our 6 playoff teams are. Right now there's probably 8, maybe 9 teams that still have playoff hopes.
And that's great that you go into the last day and there are still so many in contention.
Absolutely. Savannah Tiranzoni. Savannah's skipped a lot of years, Rona, but making the call this year to bring Elena Petz into the lineup.
Yeah, Elena, she's the only player on the ice at this event that's won a world title already. And Savannah made the call for this season, and certainly after European Championships where they medalled, that they felt they had done the right thing and it was working well. And she was happy that Elena Petz was throwing last stones and taking the pressure off her.
Chiaki Matsumura, third player for Japan, trying to double these off. Just missing the double. Well, Elena has certainly performed well in the last few days. Switzerland really starting to gather some momentum.
And there are quite a few teams here, Hans, this week where the person skipping doesn't play last stones.
That's true. Team China, Team Japan, of course. So both teams here, the skip does not throw last rocks. So it's becoming more common.
Oh, het ziet lang aus. Ja, ist er. Ich finde 8 Fuß. Bis er 4 max. Okay, Esther, ja. Wo ist er? Wo ist er? Nehmen.
Good chance to try and bury half round this.
A piece of the forefoot, pretty good shot.
Yeah, they could have hit the top one and rolled over, but they wanted to try and force here.
Enough of that stone visible that Japan might be able to make a double takeout and maybe even hang around. Quiet wait. Close to the front guard, and they wreck. That's a bad mistake.
It's opened things up, but it wasn't what she wanted. She could see enough of that stone.
Here we see. Looked like just a quieter wait, maybe, Rona, than they were expecting, and that stone really made a move. Chiaki Matsumura. But as you say, Rona, the good news for Japan, at least they've opened it up. See a little concern on the expression of Hasumi Ishiguka. Not the way that the Japanese were hoping it would go in the first end. Elena Petz makes her way into the hack to deliver. The fourth stone thrower for Switzerland.
Also, 10,5.
29 years of age, Elena Petz, as Rona mentioned. Only player in the field with a world championship to her name. Oh, very nicely done. And Switzerland is lying 3.
Yeah, they were lying 2. They could have put up a guard and said, okay. But by lying 3 at the first end, Japan will be able to take their 1. The house is open, but Switzerland are more than happy that that's the case. They forced 1 at the very first end of the game. This week we've seen so many blank first ends.
That's true. Ikue Kitazawa, 22-year-old. Gets a hit, rolls it over, kind of in front of the Swiss stone. Nice shot. Let's have a live look at Scotland versus Russia. Another important game.
Yeah, Scotland. Opportunity here for 2 at the first end. They've got a biter, so a nose hit for 2. Sophie Jackson back on the ice now after her injury and plays that nicely. Great start, 2 at the first.
Important game for Scotland. If you were with us earlier today, they had Sweden's Anna Hasselborg on the ropes, but Sweden escaped with a narrow victory. So Scotland looking to bounce back tonight. Oh, very nice. The force is on, and this complicates the matters even more for Japan, because by sitting in the front of the 8-foot, Japan cannot nose hit for their 1, so they're going to have to draw against 3. Not something you love to do in the first end.
You don't love to do it at any point, really, to be fair.
First end, second end, third end, you name it. It's never a nice thing. Ikue Kitazawa will keep an eye on the split time for you. The ice has been running between the two hog lines in the 14-4, 14-5 range for most of the week to get to T-line. 14-1, so it's got plenty of weight. Oh, good looking shot. Very nice stone by Ikue Kitazawa, coolly drawing the front of the button against 3 to score a single point. But Switzerland gets the force. Japan on top after 1. It's 1-0.
Wenn wir ihr etwas geben könnten, wäre es gut, wenn wir ihr einen Takeout geben könnten, oder? So jetzt rein von der Beobachtung. So rein von der Erfahrung. Ja.
We're at the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2019. Japan with a single in the first, so they will get us underway in the second end. Asumi Ishiguka. Japanese team is from Karizawa, the Olympic city. Hosted the curling event in the 1998 Nagano Winter Olympics. It's left a real legacy in Karizawa. There's a beautiful 6-sheet curling rink there now, and just a stunning facility, really. So you don't often get a legacy after an Olympic Games in a sport, but curling has become a thing in Karizawa and produced these athletes.
And the really encouraging thing, Hans, is that every time we go to an event, it's a different team that's coming out. It's not always the same team. It's another young team and another young one. So it's great to see.
Yeah, some real depth developing in Asian women's curling, that's for certain. Let's have a look at Korea and China. Speaking of Asian curling, two teams in contention. China line 2 here, Rona.
Yeah, and China with last stone. Wang Rui draw for 3 at the first end.
Wow, what a start this would be.
They really struggled in their game earlier on against USA, so they'll want to get off to a good start tonight. And this is certainly a good way to do it. Looking pretty good. Yep. A score of 3, first end. China leads Korea 3-0.
Melanie Barbarzov getting to do what leads dream of doing these days, which is actually throwing a hit. Noses the two Japanese stones and springs them apart. Good shot. With the 5-rock free guard zone rule, Rona, the role of the lead is really elevated in the sport, hasn't it?
Yeah, without doubt, so important to have a consistent lead player to set up the ends, get the stones in the right place. And we've seen a lot of ticks this week being played by the lead players.
Very nice hit and roll there by Nakajima. Japan line 2. Switzerland got the force in the first end, and now Japan trying to force right back. Esther Neuenschwander. Makes the hit, rolls it just across the center line. Good lively crowd in here tonight, and that's great considering the home team isn't playing. Denmark has a bye tonight, so great to see a lively crowd in here on a Thursday night as we head towards the weekend and the playoffs.
And I think more family and friends have been coming in towards the end of the week, hoping to see their teams in action in the playoff stages.
Seina Nakajima. Catches it thin. This one may spill. Teranzoni jumps on it. Nakajima not too happy with it.
Zwischen 80 und 90, aber ist gut.
Esther Neuenschwander. Being asked to duck one around the corner guard.
It's her 4th appearance at Women's World. Finished 5th twice. So we'll want to better that this year.
Yeah. Brings it behind the corner guard to the back of the 12-foot. But it's in shot position. And the coach's bench, there's Yusuke Morozumi, Japanese coach, making some notes. His face looks familiar to you. You probably remember him from the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, where he skipped the Japanese men's team. Natsumura. Looking for a bit of curl to get to the Swiss stone. Just bounces off, but they do sit shot. Manuela Netzer, the coach for Team Switzerland. Coach is just behind the playing surface.
Up beside the time clocks. Each team's got 38 minutes of thinking time for their 10 ends. It's up to them how they manage it.
Do you think the coaches have got little mirrors now and have learned to read the clocks backwards, or do you just swivel around to have a look?
No, you'll still see them towards the end of the game turning around looking to see.
Savannah Terranzoni.
Sweepers seem quite happy with the weight. It's all about the line here.
Good looking stone.
Yeah, really nice.
And the cowbells ring out. More cowbell. You can generally tell when the Swiss and the Scots are in the house at a curling event. Rona?
Very passionate.
We love it. It's one of the great things about international curling events, the atmosphere. Trying to bring this one into the 8-foot, but it's going to over curl and it's going to sit in second shot position. So a great chance for Switzerland now.
Yeah,
whack
set
another
up
one in
for
there.
2.
Maybe
Potential
more.
3.
Yes, indeed. Lena Petz with her brush telling us where they want it to come to rest. It'll be full 8-foot. They'd love to tuck a corner around that red stone at the front left of the 8-foot. Same track that she just threw down, so Silvana should have a pretty good idea of both the weight and the line of this shot.
It looks as though she's talking into her brush to give it some direction.
Come in stone, curl now. Don't want to touch it. Oh, it just grazed it. That's a really good shot.
That was very well judged.
Watch how close this comes to the stone in the front 8-foot. Whoa, and then oop! Just grazed it going by. Smiles from Barbara Zod and Noyan Schweiner. Say, come on, don't tell us to sweep when it's already around the rock. It's a little late.
We knew it was good. It's okay. Don't panic.
Yeah. The front-enders union. Front-enders will always have a chat between themselves about the perks and the peculiarities of their teammates. Japan lying up, thinking double takeout, but the backstone is jamming all day, so Kitazawa likely be happy to remove one of the Swiss stones. Big weight though, she's really trying to move them. Couldn't do much better than that. The backstone wasn't going anywhere. Don't care how hard you throw it. Angles were bad.
Einfach nicht, dass wenn sie freest, weißt, dass sie nachher besser ist. Eben, ja,
Switzerland debating splitting the house or trying to come around again.
Thing
Also
is,
ich
if
finde
they
einfach
stop
verdammt schwierig.
too
Aber
high,
komm,
it will leave a
stark,
double,
Yes.
cross-house double. If they take it right back, then Japan could freeze
Ist das
that yellow.
zu viel, oder? Ich finde
That's
es gut so.
Silvana's brush.
Looked like they were thinking, well, they're definitely going to draw to the left of the screen as we look at it. Looked like Savannah patted her brush sort of front forefootish just to create an awkward angle for a double Rona.
Und so schlagen wir einen vor und 8, ist auch okay. hä? Also,
Japan's going to have some kind of shot.
vor, hinter 4.
Switzerland has really the whole 8-foot, so Alina Petz can really draw it quite wide if she
Ja,
chooses to.
hinten 8 wäre besser. hä? Muss da sein. Hinten 4. Darf noch mega gerade. hä? Muss da sein, mindestens.
Neuen Schwander, Barbazat guiding it down.
Oh.
Now this thing has actually got a little bit more pace than I think they were expecting. That's a sweeping error. This one is going to go deep and come to rest in the back 12-foot. That fooled them. Just a fresher path, Rona.
Yeah, fresh piece of ice, and they were obviously judging it by the draws they've played on the other hand, going to the wing.
Quite a bad error. Now is Japan actually going to try and throw a hit at this? This could wind up very badly for them if they were ever to clip their own stone going by.
I thought they would just come up and freeze that yellow.
I thought they would too.
They're 1 up. If they freeze that, they're forcing a 1. This is quite a risky shot.
Kyue Kitazawa. Yeah, she overcurled already. They're actually on the front stone. My goodness.
That was a strange call.
That was a very strange call. Let's look in at Scotland, Russia.
And Scotland played a really good hit and flop in behind that guard. Russia had set the whole end up for 2, so now having to draw for 1. Alina Kovaleva not able to remove that stone. Sweeper standing back. Is it going to stop? Yes, it does. So a score of 1. Scotland lead 2-1 after 2 ends.
And after that mistake by the Japanese, now Alina Petz looks like a shot for 4. She hits half. She's got the whole house to roll to. A really puzzling tactical decision by the Japanese.
Yeah, very surprised. Switzerland, whether they're glad they were heavy with the first one.
Yeah, got away with it. Well, they're going to lose the shooter, but they're going to throw a 3 on the board. 3 points for Switzerland. Alina Petz removing the Japanese stone. And Switzerland jumps in front. 3 points on the board after 2 ends of play. Switzerland 3 and Japan 1.
Ja, sie hätten fast Board spielen müssen. Ja, ja. Gut so.
Kannst du auch nicht sagen, nach der Mitte, also dass sie gar nicht so rund sind, das hat sie letztes Mal gesagt, wenn es da auf das Zeichen kommt,
Ja. Wobei sie spielen sie schon nicht so gut, muss man sagen. Ja.
Also ist gut.
Zweimal ist es aus.
Ja. Vorne 4, vorne 2.
Sicher einmal und dann schauen wir.
third end of play. Switzerland coming into this game on a roll, and the roll continues, although, has to be said, Rona, a little assistance from a questionable tactical decision, I think, from the Japanese.
Yeah, it was a big error from Helena Patson her first to throw it heavy, and then for Japan to call that shot, I'm really surprised. It's different if it's a do or die towards the end of the game and you need to have scorers on the board, but my goodness, second end of the game, you freeze that, force the one. You're tied after 2 ends.
Let's see if the Japanese can bounce back. Corner guard up.
Binnen 8 Fuß. Eigentlich ist nicht schlecht. Bis fast Fries. Ist bis fast Fries, Silvana. Kommt ein bisschen runter.
Fest, 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 fest.
Oh, don't know if that caught someone or sweeping the eyes. It's not covered, the shots don't.
So a chance for Japan to get something going here.
They don't need to go daft, they just need to get one good shot behind a corner and generate a 2.
Shizuka trying to draw around the corner guard that she set. Good stone. Let's have a look in at Korea versus China.
China lying one at the back, buried. Kim Min-ji really can only just draw for one. There's no shot to tap that back. Although with the guard quite long, it might have been worth a shot. She's got to make sure she scores. Korea on 7 wins, China on 6. This is a crunch game for both these teams as well. Yeah, she makes that nicely. And a score of 1. So China lead 3-1 after 2. It did look as though she might have been able to come up and tap that back.
Yeah, it was pretty close to see who was second shot, so I'm not sure it was a shot for 2, Rona. It was pretty close. But at any rate, 1 on the board for Korea. And they're on the scoreboard, but they're trailing by 2. Switzerland throwing the guard on their shot, so Kui Kitazawa will hold the brush for her skip. Sena Nakajima trying to run this back. And those classic AB shots where if you make the run back, great, but if you don't, you clear. This veteran Swiss team, they just seem to have the look of a team that's feeling really confident.
Yeah, they've just grown and grown as the week's gone on. There's a lot of experience in this team over the years. When you think of the years of experience they've got compared to their opposition.
That's exactly right. Chiaki Matsumura, the only player in the Japanese lineup that has any international experience. But this Japanese team, they've come into this game with 5 wins. They defeated Satsuki Fujisawa in the Japanese championship to earn the right to be here, so we know they can play.
Oh, they've just rubbed off their corner guard.
And they've left Swiss stone on the rings in third shot position as well. Has opened up the front. Switzerland would be pretty happy to concede a single point here. Forrest get the hammer back into the fourth. Ooh, tight to the guard, but gets to nose. Nice shot.
So Japan looking just to head and roll. So we see that again, just passes the guard. And hits it on the nose. Want to roll in behind that cover. Oh, just not enough. They get a roll, but not behind cover. Japan need a win here.
Yes, they do.
They've still got China and Sweden to play tomorrow.
Switzerland, conversely, their remaining games are against the USA and Germany. Very nicely done.
Great shot. Taranzoni.
Really good rock management by the Swiss team. They're getting rolls and stones into really good places. Depends on a place they don't really want to be, which is running back corner guards. Chiaki Matsumura. No, Japan can't buy one right now. Got no action on the third shot and blows their raised stone through the hole.
Guard weg. Ich finde es hinten noch Max. Guard weg ist auch eine Option. Ich finde es im Fall nicht schlecht. So, sie hat noch 2 Steine.
Also,
Ich finde der recht
ja,
gut.
ist gut. Wo ist der perfekte Spot?
Perfekte Spot ist...
Quick update on all the games. Switzerland leading this one 3-1.
Ja.
Sweden and Germany are scoreless through 3 ends. Pitchers duel. Scotland leading Russia 2-1 and China leading Korea 3-1. Three blankins in a row in that Sweden-Germany game. That's kind of old school.
It is. Sweden have already qualified. Germany need a win. They're sitting on 4 wins and 5 losses.
Another beauty from Team Switzerland. They lie 4. Neuenschwander Schwander barbs up with the brush. So when are they going to give us a rest? So double takeout is on here for Japan, but they probably will not be in shot block position afterward. The stone behind the guard will likely outcount them. Now it's damage limitation time for Japan. Triple takeout,
High
maybe.
side at the moment.
Goes across the top of the third stone. She does remove 2. Switzerland with no hesitation said, we'll just duck another one around. Switzerland now switching gears from playing for a force to playing for a steal. Pretty quiet there in the back, eh?
Yeah.
Not a lot of chat.
Normally this team are very chatty, quite bubbly on the ice, but maybe the pressure now of the playoffs looming. I'm just feeling the pressure.
Well, we got a split time on the Japanese draw in the 14-5 range, so let's just see what this one has got. Sweepers are backing off it. 13-3, this one's got a head of steam. This is going to stay in the rings. My goodness, it's going deep anyways. Deep and through. So for the second time in the game, Elena Fetz with a draw that fairly rockets through the rings.
But thankfully for Switzerland, it's not a big difference. Still being able to force Japan for 1, which she's still got to make.
She does. Kimisawa had to draw against 3 in the first end and now drawing against 2 in the third end. Sweepers on this one right out of hand. They think it's light. Oh, very nice job by Matsumura and Ishiguka on the brushing. Bringing that stone full into the 8-foot for a single point. Good job there from Team Japan. Once again, Kitazawa with a clutch draw to save the end. But again, it's only a single. Switzerland will have the hammer going into 4, leading the score by 3-2.
Oh, das andere wäre Soft Peeling. Ja, das könnte man auch machen. Gut, ich glaube, ich will mal hin, wenn sie frisst, können wir auf die Seite. Dann aufmachen.
Little collision there between Alina Betts and Asumi Ishiguka on the follow through. Little full contact curling going on out here tonight. Didn't affect the result. Good center guard. Let's have a look at the Ishiguka on the follow through, and there's Alina, and whoa, what, where'd the brush come from? So the Nikui Kitazawa took a tumble on the ice earlier today when she was on the way back to the hack. So it's been an adventurous day on the ice for Team Japan. Kitazawa fell down, got up, made a circus shot.
She needs to wear knee and elbow pads.
Yeah, maybe. %80 for the tournament for Hasumi. Little nose freeze, tappy kind of shot there from Team Japan. That's the technical term.
Freeze tappy. Yeah, they just need to try and get something going.
Nolan Varvazat having a solid tournament lead, 86% for the week.
And it's important Japan just don't go gung-ho here at the fourth end, as long as you try and force one.
Wow, look at this. A real mess in the house in Korea versus China.
Yeah, it looks like China lying one at the side of the 4 foot. Wang Rei draw for 2.
She can tiptoe through the granite.
Is it going to stop? Oh, maybe it's red that's lying one.
It is.
Oh,
I
it
think.
is. It is. So she was drawing a. Oh no, they're having a close look. I think it is red.
It does look like red. Korea says
Korea
it's
saying,
us.
"Yep, it's me."
Neige is
Me.
not so convinced. Wang Rei's going to come have a look.
Anyway, her draw was well heavy.
It certainly was. Well, now they do kick the stones away, so we do believe it's a steal for Korea.
That tightens that score line to 3-2 after 3.
We'll just wait for the confirmation of the score. Yes, indeed, it is in fact a steal of 1 for the Koreans.
Nice tap there from Japan.
Things looking a little better for the Japanese in this end in terms of rock placement anyways. As Esther Neuenschwander sends one down. Intense concentration. Clears the front, opens it up. Sina Nakajima, 81% for the week.
Are just slipping into the rings.
Shows the Swiss the outside of their own stones. Schnau, my Swiss German that I've learned this week, that means nose. Right on the Schnau.
On the snout.
On the Schnau. Esther Neuenschwander, 81% for the week. Not quite on the schnow, on the side of the schnow.
And Japan would really love to force one here.
Yeah, it feels like they just need to turn things around a little bit. Chiaki Matsumura is 78% for the tournament. A force might give them an opportunity with the hammer in 5 to get a pair and get back on level pegging. Let's look in at Scotland, Russia. One Russian stone in the rings. Sophie Jackson delivering.
Scotland 2-1 up. Just trying to clear it out. Does that nicely. They're having a look at that back one. But it is a blank. So Scotland still lead 2-1 after 4. Scotland really need this win. They're sitting on 4 wins, 5 losses. So they also can get to 5 and 5 and join the pack.
Yes, indeed. Once again, Terenzoni looking for the schnow. 79% for the tournament for Silvana. Give it a bit of a push, urging it to curl. Gets a little action, moves them around a bit. Japan lying 1-3 right now. The Swiss stone at the back of the 4-foot is second shot.
Yeah, it's tempting for Japan to lift the double, but they want to just force Switzerland to keep playing the hard shots.
Yeah. Always trying to make the degree of difficulty higher on your opponent. Chiaki Matsumura trying to throw a guard. Good, covers second shot. Shows the Swiss the shot stone, but on the outside.
Yeah, really well placed guard there. Got a dual purpose.
Well, they say women can multitask, men really struggle with it, so that guard multitasking for the Japanese.
What do you mean they say that, Hans?
Well, it's a fact. Okay, let's let's just say it. We'll be clear here. Silvana Terenzoni. Trying to rattle these ones around. Gonna get some action. My goodness, that worked out.
Well.
Removed the Japanese stone, nudged the other Japanese stone into third shot position and left herself guarded. That kind of worked. Let's watch the action on this. Red, red, red. Push red, leave yourself shot.
Yes, made contact with them all, nearly got them all out.
Yeah. Very nice.
The only unfortunate thing is that there is still a guard for Japan to come around, but the centre is open, so the button's still wide open.
Yeah, there's a pocket for Japan to draw to.
Yeah, she really wants to just freeze this, doesn't want to bounce off it.
Absolutely. Saw what happened a few ends ago. And leave the Swiss an opportunity to knock stones around. They can score big ends. So Kitazawa trying to lock one on here. Trying to make a perfect freeze. The toughest shot in curling. Pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. Didn't quite lock onto the stone at the back. Looking
Yeah,
at
they
it.
didn't really sweep that hard for
No.
weight, whereas it could have done with a wee bit just at the end.
Yeah, I think they were just waiting on the line, Rona. But you're right. Would have been better to be another couple of centimeters further forward. Switzerland can raise their own stone. Maybe slam it into the pocket and remove both reds.
Yeah, that's why it was important that that one was frozen on top of the yellow.
Exactly.
Ja, ich finde es gut. Ja, so viel wie möglich. Hey. Gut, Bord. Ich finde sie jetzt gut so, oder? Ich gehe mit und das gut. Ja, so mal
Elena can't see very much of that target rock, maybe a quarter. 73% for the week, but in recent games, Elena has really stepped it up. Struggling a bit with draw weight tonight, but a good chance here to make a little angle tap. Teranzoni urging her sweepers on. Are they by the guard, trying to keep the angle high? Pushes the Japanese stone to the back of the button, but leaves themselves lying second and third shots, so some real danger here for Japan unless they can lock another one in there.
Yeah, half-check freeze on that top right there, on that top yellow.
Sweden, Germany doesn't look like a blank end this time.
No, Germany line one. Could draw for two, but looks like Daniela Jens just choosing to play the nose hit for two.
Interesting. Is that a tougher shot than the draw?
Well, I suppose it's whatever you're comfiest with at the time, but draw to forefoot did seem easy, but she's made it. So the few blank ends, 3 blank ends were worth it to then score the two. So they lead Sweden 2-0. Sweden have already qualified. Germany trying to get there.
Big shot here for Ikue Kitazawa.
They definitely don't want to bounce off this.
No,
They
ma'am.
need to just freeze.
Looking for the brakes to be applied. Well, what have they left for Team Switzerland?
Can Switzerland see enough of that red to nick it out?
Well, yeah, they might push their own, but you're right. It might get that might be a shot for one. Yellow, yellow angle
Yep.
for a possible two.
Oder wir können auch nicht so schnell spielen, dass eventuell... Wenn du dann rauskommst, dann ist nicht gut. Nein, also der eine geht ja nur da rein. Der eine kann nie auf die Sechse, finde ich.
I can't really see the angle from
Entweder
here,
ist
but
der-
it looks as though it's too tight for them to nick
Ja,
it
in dem Fall,
out.
oder?
I agree. I think they would hit it so thin it would just side jam on the yellow. It would spin the red. It would leave them one, but they would never save their shooter, of course. So,
A draw to the button it is.
all right.
Toli.
So this is a great force from Japan at this end.
It is. They've played this end well. And not an automatic shot by any means for Alina Petz. Tough shot here.
Linie ist gut. Nur wenn Mühe, der läuft mega gerade. Ist alles bei euch. Meli! Meli! Linie wäre gut.
Switching now to try and get a little bit more curl. They're worried a little bit about the line as well as the weight. I think this one's coming up short.
It is. Great line.
Great line, but it's a steal of one for Japan. So the first crack in the armor for Team Switzerland. Japan with a very well constructed end. Some nice shooting by the whole team pays off with the steal. And Japan have tied this one up. It is 3-3 after 4 ends of play.
ダブルとか普通にうまい。ハード系のダブル。神ショット連発。すごいと思う。うまいかな。気をつけるわ。
We are live from Silkeborg, Denmark at the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2019, our feature game. A game with playoff implications. It's Japan and Switzerland, and after that steal of 1 in the 4th end, we're on a brand new game. Japan are right back in it.
They certainly are.
Things are looking a little sketchy for the Japanese. Had the hammer, they got forced in the first, and then after a tactical error, I think, from my opinion, in the second end, Switzerland came back with a 3, but since then Japan, after being forced, come back with the steal, and we're back on level pegging. Top 8 foot. Center guard really high in the free guard zone. Ishiguka. So I'm just going to over curl slightly and graze the Swiss stone.
Still not much conversation between this Japanese team.
Maybe they've
Not
got
quite
telepathy going tonight, and they're just sort of sending thoughts to each other. Certainly not speaking very much.
Oh, nice shot.
Kom Elisen.
Nearly all of this rock available for Japan. They hit 3/4 on the brush side. They can double them off. Nakajima. Just quiet weight. Can be hard to see both how rocks going out with that weight. Just really dainty.
Dainty.
It's a dainty takeout weight. That's a little bit less, a little bit more than a canny weight, you know, but
Okay.
a little down from board. A little up from hack.
Elf. 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 Sowieso. Ja. Ja.
Mr. Neuenschwander.
Fest, Taschen noch rum. Taschen, komm.
Really nice. Leaves them both level. No double there.
Gut. Gut gewischt. Schön.
Kurosawa lining up the target for Nakajima. That was more board than dainty. Rolls into second shot position though, so Switzerland is still with a great chance now to come back with the deuce after dropping the steal. Things are setting up quite well for the Swiss. Esther Neuenschwander. This one may spill. Will it hang on? It's not going to spin back. That's a mistake from the Swiss. It bails Japan out.
So a missed opportunity from Switzerland there. After losing that one, they would have liked to just get their two back here if possible. Just a simple two.
That's right, Ronan, and they were setting up for it, but that miss by Neuenschwander. And a nice little inside roll here for the Japanese. Let's have a look at Korea and China. Tight game.
Yeah, Korea lying one, edge of the forefoot. Wang Rui wants to extend their lead here. Sweeper's quite happy with it. Just nursing it down. Is it going to make contact? No, but it did just stop in time. Wow. So it's a 1 for China. They now lead 4-2 after 4 ends.
And it's a big game for both teams. Korea are ahead in the standings, but China with a victory could draw even with the Koreans, and that would give them an edge in the tiebreak on the head-to-head record. Tiranzoni just grazed the Japanese stone and spun out of the ring, so a chance for Japan to zip another one in there.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to put it in a place that's... You don't want to leave a double off the outside one. You don't want to leave it too short that they can come around. Not that I think Switzerland would, but they may try and generate a 2 here. Still with the skip stones.
I'd say they're thinking front 8 foot, nearly biting the 4 foot behind cover if they can get it to that spot. You can see the brush being padded. That's where Nakajima would like it. And pretty close. Just about a foot short of ideal, but a very good shot by Matsumura.
That's a great shot.
Fully buried.
Ja, okay. So, tipptopp, ja. Ist etwa Hecksport gewesen, hä? Ich find's gut so. Sport!
So board weight, just want to nose that one.
Just want to schnow it. Good looking shot here from Tiranzoni.
Gut gespielt.
Removes the Japanese stone. Just the tiniest of outside rolls.
Gut so.
Nakajima looking at the contact point that she wants. Japan would love a little, maybe one rock with inside roll. And there's a good look at it.
Yeah, it'd be great to roll even just half behind.
Kitazawa. Just going to get to the nose. Pretty good. Might be a little inside double and some action now for the Swiss.
Also reinrollen geht nicht aus meiner Sicht. Muss nachher wahrscheinlich
No,
eher
after
anstellen.
looking at it, they're going to elect to draw around.
Yep, that was my fear with them putting that one just top 12 foot.
A little too high.
Yeah, that Switzerland would then use it as a guard and set up the
Möglichst versteckt.
skip's juice.
Let's see if Alina can make the adjustment. She has been consistently heavy with draws tonight. Came up short on one draw, which gave up the steal. So let's see if she can dial it in.
The right hand red is still very usable for Japan to tap up.
Tap upable.
It's a tap upable one.
Ach, ist gut, ja. Noch Länge, noch Länge.
Achtung! Zieh ja dann die Jens! Zieh es doch Länge, wenn ihr müsst!
Linie ist super.
Ist gut! Zieh!
Oh, noch Länge.
Wow.
You could hear the urgency in Sylvana's call on the line. She did not want to graze that top one, and look where it finished, fully buried. The angle run is on for Japan. They hit half of the outside stone, Nakajima lining it up. They can remove the Swiss stone. Not an easy shot though. Let's look in at Sweden, Germany.
Thank you, Sama.
Sweden facing one German counter, but has got a nose hit for two.
That would tie it up.
Anna Hasselberg, they've already qualified. They're sitting on 8 wins and 1 loss. They lost their first game of the championship and haven't lost a game since. You can see the sweepers nursing us down and makes it perfectly. You can see the sweepers have got stripy socks on today.
Stripy sock night for the Swedes.
Yep, it's Rock Your Socks Day in Sweden.
Rock your socks.
Supporting charity for children with Down syndrome.
Fantastic. Very worthy cause. So
Very apt for curling Rock Your Socks as well. Rocks.
absolutely. There's a good look at them. They are rocking them tonight. Speaking of rocking them, Japan with a great shot, so Switzerland with a tough shot now just to score.
It's been a really well played end by Japan.
Linie ist aber gut!
Lauf, Gräder.
Tanz im Vierfuß! Linie ist gut! Sieht gut aus!
To be in the 4 foot.
Sieht gut aus! Schöne
Pretty good
Länge!
looking stone here. Very well played. Single point, but another force for the Japanese. They will take last rock into the next end. Alina Petz draws for one at the halfway point. Switzerland leads it by a score of 4-3. Second end after Japan crashes an attempted takeout. Alina Petz with a great chance to give Switzerland the big end if she can make this. Chips out the Japanese stone and leaves themselves lying 3. That's a 3-point end for Switzerland. In the third, facing 2 Swiss counters. Ikue Kitazawa needs full 8 foot to score. Makes it easily. Nice shot by the Japanese skip to score a single point. In the fourth end after a very good setup from Team Japan. Tough final stone for Alina Petz. Needs to draw a piece of the button to score, but it's going to come up just short. So it's a steal for Japan, and that ties the game. Catching you up with all the action in Thursday night's session 17. Switzerland leading Japan 4-3. Sweden and Germany tied up at 2, as are Scotland and Russia. And China holds a 4-2 lead over Korea.
Schöne Länge, Spätzi. Gut.
Mehr Energie.
Ja, genau. Es scheint so ein bisschen lau. Low.
Gut angefangen, guten Griff gehabt.
Ich habe das Gefühl, für uns ist es einfacher, wenn wir das Spiel auf die Seite ziehen können. Sie sind einfach,
Sie sind auch schwächer in denen von innen raus.
das, was wir 3 gemacht haben, ist fast alles auf die Seite.
出すだけ決めてボードにしたんだけど、例えばボードだとああいう風にガードに当たっちゃったりとか、あと通ったけど自分の石出しちゃったりとかっていうのもあるでしょ。そうすると一セで4点とかになるから、あとからバックラインとかのが安全かもしれないし、どうしても押したけれどね、そうフリーズでもいいと思うんだよね。だってフリーズだったらそこまでドローへと振るわないじゃん。千秋が投げてるラインだったからね。まあそのあたりができていいかなって感じ。でもそれ以外別に気になるとこないから、自分たちのショットちゃんと決めて好きにやってください。
はい。好きに。あれ
じゃあね、頑張って。あ、ごめん。
Well, tight game, and the shooting percentages reflect that. Dead even between the two teams in total shooting percentage. Japan a little bit better on the draws, and Switzerland a little bit better on the hits. Japan with the 1 stolen end, and Switzerland with a 4-3 lead. The second half of our game is now underway. We are live in Silkeborg, Denmark. 3 hours north of Copenhagen on the Jutland Peninsula. Our feature game, Japan, Switzerland. Switzerland with a 4-3 lead. I'm Hans Traunlaub, and with me is Olympic champion, MBE, and all-around awesome person, Rona Howie. And Rona, this one is, dare I say it, eeksy peeksy. Every game important tonight, Rona. Scotland, Russia.
Certainly is, and Russia lying 3. Sophie Jackson having to draw the forfeit. Scotland on 4 and 5, Russia on 7 and 3. So it's a must-win game for Scotland. Sophie Sinclair and Millie Smith happy with the weight. Can they pull it into the forefoot? They have a great shot, well judged. It's a score of 1 for Scotland. They lead 3-2 after 6 ends.
Very clutch shot there from Sophie Jackson. Well, just like spring is in the air, the playoffs are in the air, and you can just feel it really on the ice. Intensity levels just creeping up.
Yeah, and you just wonder when it gets to this stage in a competition, do the more experienced players deal with the must-win situation better than the younger ones, or the younger ones don't know?
You don't even know you're in a pressure situation,
Yes.
so you just go and play.
You just go and play.
95% tonight for Hasumi Ishiguka. Having a very good game. Just gets a narrow piece of that Swiss stone, sticks around, back 8 foot.
Pushed it into the gap.
Let's look in at Korea and China. Oh my goodness.
Plenty stones yet again. Looks like China lying 1 back of the button. Kim Min-ji.
But she got a double here for a bundle.
Yeah, there's certainly plenty red counters in the head. Past the guards. Oh, what a shot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow. Well, when you're 2
Bluey.
down in the game, that's what you need to do. Get a 5 and go 7-4 up after 5 ends.
The best strategy in curling, the timely 5. Wow. To the delight of the Korean spectator. Kim Min-ji, this Korean team, all of them are 19 years of age. And they are sitting at 7 wins, and with that huge 5-point end giving themselves a bit of control in that game as well. Seina Nakajima, 93% tonight. Zips it through the hole, gets a little flop. Half of it hidden. Still a chance for the Swiss to make a play at it. Esther Neuenschwander, 89% tonight. Very high standard from all the players. Neuenschwander through the hole. Gets a little roll. See the cowbells in the background from the Swiss fans. You never get lost on the way home when you're traveling with the Swiss contingent. You're never going to get lost in the dark. Just listen. This turns the handle around this time for Seina Nakajima. Still has to get through the hole, but she has to play the out turn this time. Yes, whoa usually means goodness. And that's a very nice shot. Doesn't go behind cover, but removes the Swiss stone.
Takes the attention away from the forefoot, which is what Switzerland want, to be in the forefoot. Japan want play out to the wings. They've got last stone. Would like to get their 2 at the 6th end. Even end. Be able to score at 6, 8 and 10. But a chance now for Savannah Tiranzoni to get a hit and roll in and put a bit of pressure back onto Japan.
Savannah 90% tonight. All of the players passing their statistical exams tonight. Playing very well. And she does get the little inside roll. Nakajima immediately patting the ice.
You wonder why the players are looking up to the side, but there's big TV screens that they're looking to see the stone placement.
Yeah, we can benefit from our production here a little bit and just know where the stones are.
Because it looks as though they're looking up at the crowd or looking at somebody, but it's actually
Kids
themselves.
today, always watching TV. Chiaki Matsumura trying to draw around the corner guard and just sit on a bit of a corner. She won't be able to freeze, but just wants to sit an angle in front of the Swiss stone. This one's really making a move when they left the sweep too late and they crash. That's a bit of a misread on the sweeping for Team Japan. Chiaki disappointed. She knows they could have had that one. Sweepers comparing notes. Now the center guards are overlapped, so if Switzerland ever gets one behind it, could be trouble for Japan. Really tight game. Switzerland up 1, Japan with the hammer, but the Swiss with a great chance now to set up the force and maybe a steal.
A really nice shot, top four. Doesn't leave a double off the outside yellow.
Nakajima giving us an idea of the weight that she wants. Just back 8-foot weight, looking to push that Swiss stone back about 3-4 feet. You like this call, Rona?
Yeah, I do. Just tap it back, leave a bit of an angle so Switzerland may jam. And then if Switzerland hit and rolled out, you've got a double off the wing yellow to the back one.
Matsumura watching this one. It's got a bit of curling to do yet, well by the guard. She does push the Swiss stone into the back 8-foot. I would like that to curl a wee bit more. It's in the open for the Swiss.
Great opportunity now. Helena Pats can hit and flop in behind those guards. Japan are in a bit of trouble.
Trouble, trouble, trouble. Absolutely. Helena Pats.
That's consistency.
Sure is. Square on her tournament average. And shooting percentage.
Can she get the inside flop?
Trying to hold the line. Catch it thin. They're going to spill across the rings. It's going to stay in the rings, but it's going to go into the back 12-foot. So I think if you're Japan, well, they're looking at a hit, but would you not draw around the center guards here, Rona?
Yeah, they can still generate a 2 at this end. They play a really good come around now. And Switzerland catch the guard, they draw for 2.
Exactly.
Very straightforward 2 with a hammer.
Exactly. That's and Terrazzoni having a chat.
eben ab. Ja, also wenn sie einen guten haben, nehme ich eigentlich nicht.
Does look like Japan is going to draw around those center guards. Kue Kitazawa, 83% tonight. Well above her tournament average. She's having a nice game. This one has some curling to do. Now it's starting to make a move, but it's still got a lot of pace. It's going to come to the back of the forefoot. It will be shot, but it will be available for Alina Petz to make a play at. Looks like they're going to play the freeze, Rona.
Certainly one way to force one.
New to curling. We call it a freeze when you sit your stone directly in front of another stone. Makes it very difficult to remove.
She could just spin it out and
That's what I was
leave
thinking.
her draw against 3.
Or 4. Exactly.
Or 4, yeah. But she called the draw straight away.
We'll do the interval time for you between the hog lines. Looking for something in the 14-second range at the far hog line. Sweeper's jumping it now. 15-2, so this is going to need a little bit of help to get there. All hands on deck.
She could bury and just leave it top 4.
And this is a pretty good shot. Great sweeping by Team Switzerland, and they get that stone into the button area. Is there enough room for Japan to play maybe back 4, back 8, hit a quarter and score 2?
There's not a lot of room to roll her shooter because the other one's just off the other side of the forefoot. So she has to keep her shooter biting the forefoot virtually.
Really tight ice. Just looks like she's trying to pick it here, but if she can pick it, surely she could tap it, no?
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, here we go. Last stone. Ikue Kitazawa just trying to pick this stone off the button to score a single point. This one a little inside out. Drifting away. I don't think this is going to make contact at all. No, it is a clean miss. So a steal of a single point for Switzerland. Kitazawa missing the pick attempt. Asking your teammates what happened, but net result. Well, we'll take a look at the release here, Rona.
Yeah, you
just
can
look a
see
little
she pops
inside
it
out. Yeah.
out the way with her wrist. It was wrist action that popped it out. And at that weight, there's absolutely no recovery.
And it sails by the target rock. It's a steal. Gives the Swiss the edge. Another point for Switzerland on the board. After 6, Switzerland 5, Japan 3.
Wenn perfekt liegt, machen wir kein Gar mit dem zweiten. Also ist mehr eine Frage. Ja, sie hat eben so gemacht. Sie hat so gemacht, zu bestätigen, okay, machen wir. Das ist mehr eine Frage.
Big steal in the 6th for Switzerland, giving them a 5-3 lead. We're live at the LGT World Women's Curling Championships in Silkeborg, Denmark. I'm up here with Rona Howie, and we were talking during the end break, Rona, about Team Japan just not really talking through a lot of options on shots, it seems to us anyways. That we thought an option for a tap for a 2, but there wasn't really any kind of discussion around the progression on the shots, was there? At least not apparent to me.
No, they seem quite quiet out there tonight. And to be fair, it's maybe just a lack of experience. You see, there's only one of them who have got international experience. The other 3, this is their first time on the world scene. So they've got to learn and they've got to develop. It is all a big learning curve. You know, he always say you have to be a good loser before you're a winner, and you've got to learn how to lose and learn from your mistakes when you lose. That's how you develop and become a better person. Yeah, not a lot of conversation between the Japanese team. I think we're just used to Satsuki Fujisawa's team that talk constantly.
Exactly, constant conversation.
They beat that team to get here.
Yes, they did. Let's look at Sweden and Germany. Looks like Sweden might be lying 2 here. 1 for sure.
Yeah, definitely 1, possibly 2. Daniela Jens just looking to, I think, to tap that one back that's on the button. Needing to curl. Here it comes. Is it going to come enough? Oh, just passes. But does come up in the back one. So it's a steal of 1 for Sweden. They now lead 3-2 after 6. It's a must-win game for Germany.
Japan looking to bounce back after dropping the steal. Playing a freeze. That's a very nice shot. Generating some offense by sitting in front of your opponent's stones, so you can use them later. We'll update all the games for you now. Switzerland leading this one 5-3. Sweden ahead 3-2 over Germany. Russia 4-3 ahead of Scotland, playing the 8th. And Korea 7-4 over China. Playoff format here. 6 teams make the playoffs. The number 1 and the number 2 teams go directly to the semifinal. And then the team ranked 3rd plays the team that's ranked 6th in one qualifying game. And the team ranked 4th plays the team ranked 5th in the other qualifying game. The winners of those qualifying games advance to the semifinals. From there, semifinal winners go to the gold medal game. Semifinal losers play in the bronze medal game. This is the 2nd year for this 6-team playoff format, and I quite like it, Rona. Look at that. Stones flying everywhere.
Oh.
Wait. Go sweep it. Got there a bit late.
Still biting. Watch here, the power generated.
Nakajima is not a large woman, but she can really propel from the hack. Gets a lot of weight on the stone.
She was going to clear both the yellow guards, was the call, but was in the high side, but did get a result out of it. A very nice result.
Yeah, that's where the freeze paid off. The freeze allowed that big running weight just to jam it. Leaves them one guarded.
Yeah, I think the format with 6 teams qualifying out of 13 is a good way to do it. That the top 2 get straight to semis, that they're rewarded.
Exactly.
Because it's a long round robin.
It is.
And if you were to win all your games, you know, and have to play a quarter final, that's tough.
It is. Been there.
So yeah, it is. I think it's important to reward the 2 at the top of the round robin.
Playoff phase will start on Saturday. Saturday, and the tournament will wind up on Sunday. Japan just maneuvering stones around. They're lying now first and third. They've popped their stone into the open.
Nice weight just to move the stones around the head. They would dearly like to get their 2 here.
Yep, a deuce would be big for Japan.
Nice controlled weight here. Important to keep the shooter in play. Get a roll if possible. Oh, there's pretty good. It doesn't leave a double.
Yep, Taranzoni and Pets are getting along pretty well, it seems.
Yep, first season together. They're used to playing against each other.
It's better at some point to stop beating up on each other and team up instead.
Yeah, I like this call better. They looked at raising their own red. Yeah, really nice shot.
That's the kind of shot that sets up a 3.
That was a good call.
Normaal.
Looks like the Swiss are going to make a play on that stone. Don't know if she can get an inside roll or not, Rona. Gonna have to get pretty close to the guard. So Lana Taranzoni lines it up. Showing big weight. Little inside out on this one. This one is still moving away, and it, well, flips that stone. Nearly missed it.
So a chance now for Japan. They could even just play, you know, a back 8 weight split. That red over behind the corner guard, get the shooter to roll behind the center guard,
If they want to
and
keep,
expose that yellow.
I like your thinking, Rona. It's important for Japan to keep their own stones in the rings, but they're looking the brush position like they're going to play a short run back. It'll be probably board weight, control weight. Yes, it is. Chiaki Matsumura. Get a great look at it here. Is it going to curl enough? Yes, it does. Pretty good shot. Japan lies 2.
Well played.
Kijk, gib mir ein bisschen weniger. Aber weniger nicht, er wird sicher gehen, Silvana.
So Switzerland now would like to get a wee roll inside here, just to try and kill Japan's two.
Chap and lie.
Der vorige gab es viel gesehen.
I would say a hit and flop.
Hit and flop. Chap and lie was from my South Island mates.
That must be a New Zealand terminology.
Indeed.
Quite a lot of rotation on this one.
A small roll. Still available for Japan to hit. They won't be able to roll to the inside, but they can roll it to the wing.
Yeah, they've got cover to go behind as well. It's quite wide, but it can cause a problem to Switzerland. Sometimes in a way you don't want to be too good because they could come right around the whole centre then.
Indeed.
To the 4 foot and kill your end. Whereas if you show them something they could hit, then you've got a shot for two. So sometimes it's better not to be too perfect.
Until your last one. You can
Yes.
be absolutely
Oh, yes.
perfect on the last one. You can be almost perfect on your setup shot. This one's still moving out, taking its time making a move. They must save their shooter. Looking for the roll. They're going to get some kind of roll. Pretty good shot. Maybe not behind cover, but good separation. So the two is in the wind for Team Japan. Let's look in at Sweden, Germany. And this is live. Two Swedish stones in the ring, so Daniela Jentsch needs to draw the 8-foot round to the score.
Yeah, at least the house is wide open. Germany only one down, so this to level the game. Standing back.
Yeah, they hit it pretty hard, and now they're backing away furiously. No problem.
They breathe a sigh of relief. So that's all square after 7.
Peels.
All square.
I'm working on my Scottish, folks.
Peels isn't a Scottish word.
It's not? I'd never heard that. Before commentating with you, that is. Now I'm very familiar with it. So Japan now, can they duck one around? And well, no ducking around necessary. It's the last stone, so it just has to hit the house.
Yep, Switzerland hit and rolled out, so a great chance for Japan. They played a good end to generate a 2. Just need to finish it off.
Sweepers keeping it moving. They seem pretty okay with it. And no problem at all. This one is going to go right to the tee line. That is a deuce for the Japanese, and that ties the game. Very well crafted end by Team Japan. Kitazawa caps it off with the draw. After 7 ends of play, we are all tied up at 5.
Als je Eis macht er mit teilen. Aber sie wird kein Eis machen. Ich glaube, die macht kein Doppelgard. Das könnt ihr nicht.
The view from above on a Thursday night in Silkeborg, Denmark. We are live at the LGT World Women's Curling Championship. The feature game is Japan and Switzerland, and it is all tied up at 5. Final day of round robin play tomorrow before we head to the playoff phase on the weekend. Despite dropping the 2, Switzerland with the advantage of the even end, Ronas. This is a big one for Silvana Terenzoni and company.
Yeah, they want to score here.
And with the 5 rock free guard zone, it's kind of changed the thinking a little bit. It's made, I think, the even ends even more important in the sense that in this situation, you see teams with last rock being quite happy to take a single point. Whereas in prior years, they might have blanked to carry the hammer into the 9th. But with the 5 rock free guard zone, the advantage of last rock creeps up a little bit further, and they really want to hang on to the hammer for the even ends.
Yeah, it's so important to score 8 and 10. You've got 2 chances with a hammer, whereas your opposition's only got 1. It's a 3-end game.
There's the comparison between the leads. Very nice night for both players. Ishiguka, Marbazal, both in the 90s.
Wow.
High quality.
They're setting up the ends well. Trying to bury it right behind that corner.
Pretty good shot.
Typical lead setup.
Indeed. 4 perfect lead stones. Center guard, come around center guard for Japan. Corner guard, come around corner guard for Switzerland. Here's where we see the difference in the 5 rock free guard zone. In prior years, you might see Japan ripping a corner guard or making some kind of a hit on the front stone, but 5 rock free guard zone can't do that anymore. Seina Nakajima.
This has got a long way to go.
Starting to make a move now. Still got a lot of curling to do.
Wow, there it goes. What a shot.
Terrific. Great spot.
Very well judged.
Very well judged. All credit to the sweepers there.
It's not easy in that big swing.
The reason that's so good, they not only get the great angle, but they got their stone into second shot position. Super judgment by the Japanese sweepers. Mr. Neuenschwander. Clears the front stone. And there again, the second stones are having a really good night. Nakajima, Neuenschwander, only 3 percentage points separating them, around the 90% mark. High quality play on a Thursday night in Silkeborg.
Yeah, 4 sheets on and pressure and stress on them all. Very close games. So much at stake now at this stage in the round robin.
Nakajima looking on. That one comes into the 12-foot circle, so chance for Switzerland to double them off if they're so inclined. Teranzoni looking at the inside double.
Problem ist, wenn man so macht, geht sie rundum nicht. Meinst du, geht sie? Wie bringen wir sie schnell raus? Doppel. Dann macht sie einfach nachher Nasendoppel da. Ja, aber... Okay, du sagst, es ist beides gut. Ich finde den einfach, wenn du zu wenig triffst, nachher rollst du raus. Das bringt dir auch nichts, oder? Ich finde es wichtig, dass wir den Shooter behalten. Ja.
I think Alina's worried about the inside double red-yellow jam.
I think they're also trying to look and see how they could get the stone over to, you know, if they go for this second red and get the shooter to roll over and just separate that red and yellow that are frozen on the wing, just to give some separation.
Yeah, I think Silvana's hoping that she could hit it sideways and push it, the Japanese stone sideways.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 shot.
Yep, she could make it by hitting the top stone as well. But they are hitting the back stone and they push it sideways, but it does jam.
And who's left lying there though out of those two? Really good effort.
Yep, very nice shot. And I think we had a quick glance at it, but it looked to me like the Swiss stone was out counting the Japanese stone. Very nice shot by Neuenschwander. She didn't have much to hit. Chiaki Matsumura. Down weight, says Kitazawa. Noses it, makes a little roll. Take another peek at it while we've got the overhead. I think the yellow one is out counting it, Rona. It's pretty close.
Oh, it's close.
Chiaki Matsumura, yeah, that's pretty good. Trailing Silvana Teranzoni tonight, but that was a nice shot by Chiaki Matsumura. This is it. Everything is kind of clinging to the 8-foot now. That stone is shot.
Switzerland really would like to score 2 here.
Nakajima is looking at it. Very remote chance that Japan could remove both Swiss stones. Big risk of hitting their own stone if they try that. Let's have a live look at Korea-China. Look at that scoreboard. Korea, after scoring a 5, China comes back and scores a 4. Kim Min-ji now with the last stone.
And there's a couple of counters behind the centre guard. Kim Min-ji trying to draw the 4-foot. Needs to be past the yellow stone. Oh, is it enough?
That's a great sweep.
Shot.
Great sweep.
Ties the game up, 8-all. Wow, high scoring game there.
Oh, Kudina. Worth another look. Kim Sejin and Yang Tae on the brushes, and they needed every bit of it. Got it all the way there. Wow, what an effort. What a crazy scoreboard. How do you score a 5 and then drop a 4?
Quite easily.
Yeah, apparently. This one is going to roll right through the gap. That's hard to do. My goodness. Well, things have changed over here since we were last paying attention. Corner guard is quite long, so Japan should be able to make a play at the shot rock, but looks like they're making a jump shot at their own. Let's look at the release of Tiranzoni. This one tracked a little straighter than they were expecting, and look at this. That's kind of surgical to get through that hole without hitting anything. And Savannah's going, how'd that happen? How did that happen? Are they trying to play off their own stone, Rona? Does that seem necessary?
I don't think so. Switzerland have got last stone. If Japan come round and tap that back, they'll lie 2. It may not be a double.
Get the force.
Yeah. I don't like this call.
Well, it depends on the weight. The brush position now. She may be trying to make a play directly to the Swiss stone.
We'll wait and see. Yes, I think she is. She must have heard us.
Yes. Thank goodness. Game's pretty easy up here. Much tougher on the ice. Lots of rotation on this one. It's got a bit of curling to do to get to the nose. Is it going to stick around? Yes, it will. Nice touch.
Yes, I think you'll see Switzerland just ignoring them and trying to come round the corner.
Kitazawa with a slight edge over Alina Petz at the 4th stone.
They still want to try for this too.
Exactly right, as you were saying, Rona. Alina Petz ignoring the Japanese stones and electing to go around the corner guard.
Sweepers on this very early. Has it got the weight?
Well, Tiranzoni coming out to join them now.
It doesn't need to be in by much.
No, they just need full 12 foot really, but I don't think it's going to get there, Rona. It's going to come up short.
What a missed opportunity that was.
My goodness, it actually comes up short of the rings entirely. Alina Petz can't believe it.
She knows she's going to be forced to take her 1 now.
Yep.
But the sweeper's on it the second she let it go.
Yeah, it wasn't for want of effort from the sweepers, that's for sure. See Silvana Tiranzoni in the background. She's not happy. Body language tells you everything.
Yeah, the pair of them are quite chatty early on in Smiley. It's amazing how the body language changes.
Not so smiley at the moment. Ikue Kitazawa now with a chance to get a 3rd one in there and make the final stone for Pats a little tougher. Let's look live while this stone is in motion at Sweden, Germany. This game's all tied up.
It is all tied, but Germany line 1, however, Anna Hasselberg, a shot for 5.
My gosh. Taking an extra moment.
8th end.
This would be enormous.
Here we can see the rock your socks. Sweepers. Ah, perfect. What a shot. A score of 5.
The second 5 spot of this draw.
And Germany concedes. They've had enough.
Wow.
There's no comeback for them.
Germany battled Sweden tough, but then kaboom, a 5-point end, and that's all she wrote. Sweden remain in first place.
And Germany remain on 4 wins and now 6 losses.
So that's going to be a tough road home for the Germans. They're going to need to run the table to have a hope. Swedish fans are delighted. Alina Pats now drawing against 3, and again, Neuenschwander and Barbazot are really working this one. Turnzoni coming out to join them. Is she light again? No, they're not going to let this one die. They're working it all the way into the forefoot. Great sweeping by Team Switzerland. Alina Pets draws the forefoot for the single point, but Japan gets the force. After 8, Switzerland leads it 6-5.
Ich möchte gerne meinen ersten Stein abgeben. Der ist immer zu kurz oder Görle zu viel, oder?
Du kannst mein Eis haben, das ist nicht練習の時はそうねっていう話を今ここでしたリンドが言って
Teams gathering, having their planning chat before the 9th end begins. We're live at the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2019. Close game here between Switzerland and Japan. Both teams really wanting this win. Both teams with playoff hopes. Japan with the hammer in the 9th. Hans Fraunlund with Rona Howie, and Rona in the 5 rock free guard zone era if you're Team Japan. Do you go hard now, or do you try to play for a blank somehow?
Yeah, I thought you would see them going for the blank. Try and go into the last end with the hammer. Because they've only scored 1-2 all the whole game. It's just been singles, so to get a 3 here is probably not likely the way the game's going.
Right.
So sometimes you just have to get the feel of the game and the way your players are playing, and then make that call. But Switzerland have got other ideas. They would love to force Japan to 1 here.
Totally. Game plan for Switzerland: force the 1, take the hammer into the 10th, even up. It's not a bad spot for Japan to leave it. Back 8 foot. Keeps the scoring area wide open. Lots of games going on tonight with something to do with the playoffs, and this Scotland-Russia game is one of them. Hard to tell who's shot here.
I think Russia are definitely lying the one at the back of the forefoot, but I'm not sure between the other red and yellow. They're quite close.
So this might be a draw for 2 for Alina Kovaleva, maybe a draw for 3, depending on where the rocks are.
Yep, she played a great come around with her first, and Scotland were unable to remove it, just ticked it across. So we just need to be fully in the forefoot here. This is hanging high.
Yes, it is. Sweeper's backing off.
Is it going to dig in?
Russia is lying 2, but are they going to get a 3rd? Yes, it does.
Just, wow. Big score of 3 there for Russia. 9th end. Been a very close game, but that just gives them the jump.
Yes, it does. Russia had, according to Euro, a bit of a flat performance earlier today, but it would be a huge win if they could hang on against Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland really need to win this game to keep their hopes alive.
Hear the effort from the sweepers trying to get it to the rings. Savannah a little more serious. They were a bit smiley and chatty earlier, but quite focused and determined right now. Esther Neuenschwander.
Japan do need to be careful though. They don't want to be forced to take their one.
Yeah, almost better to drop a steal and go home 2 down with the hammer, isn't it?
That's a really nice shot.
Great shot by Esther Neuenschwander. Fully buried. Decision time for Seina Nakajima. The steely gaze of Silvana Terranzoni. And we saw Japan make a double clear run in earlier in the week. It was Kui Kitazawa that threw that one, and I'm wondering if Seina Nakajima is thinking similar. Clear 2, run him into the stones in the rings. 1, 2. Doesn't run them into the stones in the rings, but does open it up. Rolls and leaves 2 corner guards.
Genau. Schmitti. Nein, Länge ist gut. 3. Mitte. 3. Linie ist gut. Linie ist gut. 3 nach. Breit. Nach. Sehr breit. Nach. Ich kann nicht mehr fest. Ja. Wir sind fast drin. Wir sind drin. Am Schluss. Nein, ich kann nicht mehr. Muss. Kann nicht. Wir sind fast Bisser. Kann nicht. Wir sind Bisser. Okay, das ist nicht so schlimm. Okay. Okay.
Just biting the top 12 foot. Shot rock is probably half open. But now with 3 Swiss stones in the ring, Rona, it's now very much a Japan now we're thinking we have to score. So thoughts of a blank are probably gone, and now you're thinking about scoring 2. A live look now. Korea, China, tied at 8. Chance here for Wang Rei to maybe score 2, Rona?
The 2 red Korean stones are sitting together. It could be a double for 2. Is it going to sit? Oh, it just does.
Wow.
Great shot. Score of 2 for China.
That's huge.
And Wang Rei takes the lead again, 10-8. This game's going back and forward.
Teams are going to run out of scoreboard here. China in double figures, Korea not far behind. Offensive duel there. No, Japan's now in a bit of bother. If the Swiss remove this stone, Japan's going to have trouble scoring, never mind 2.
Yeah, Japan have really been sucked in here. Switzerland's stone placement's been really good, and Japan just chasing it rather than actually trying to generate something.
Yep. Absolutely right, Rona. Little inside roll, very nice.
Great shot. Savannah just seems so much happier playing third.
Yes.
She's more content. She's playing really, really well. Just that pressure maybe of throwing the last stones.
Yeah, the combination seems to work really well, doesn't it?
It does.
Savannah's.
Elena's very calm. Not a lot riles her.
Savannah's happy calling the tactics and setting the end up, and happy for Alina to throw the last ones. Yep, working well. And we see some cherry blossoms on the brushes of the Japanese team. Gonna have to move some granite here.
Certainly are.
Natsumura gives it a heave. Kills one, moves two. Just a little bit better.
One.
A little bit better.
It opens things up, but still advantage Switzerland here.
Very much so. The force is on. And for Switzerland, that's the plan. Give them one, but only one. Take the hammer. Tied up going home.
Ich glaube, es ist ähnlich im Fall. Vielleicht einen Meter kürzer. Ja. Weißt du, in der Konengar kann man irgendwie auch nicht gut. Ich finde es gut dort. Ich habe überlegt, ist einfach auf dem Ecke.
Ich finde ihn gut dort an der Ecke über.
Ich glaube, es ist okay.
Ein
bisschen weniger!
Besser. Auf Keyline.
Es läuft gut, oder?
Ja, ja, läuft schön raus.
Turns on him.
Okay, könnt jederzeit Linie, ist gut. Ha? Ist nicht schlecht,
Ist gut, nicht schlecht.
läuft noch recht gerade. Ha?
Nein, Länge ist super.
Bis da. Mach doch, er bremst. Linie ist sehr gut, läuft immer noch mega gerade. Wechseln. Wechseln.
Länge ist sehr gut.
Wechseln, ha?
Ist alles, den musst du nicht wissen.
Wenn kannst du noch ein bisschen mehr.
All the teams will have played 10 round robin games by the end of play today. All with 2 to play tomorrow.
Switzerland lies 3, and I was just thinking as you were saying that, Rona, that you know, if you look at the entire field, Sweden, you know, they're up there in first place and they're looking like staying there. But if you look at the entire rest of the field, trying to figure out anywhere between 2 and 6 or 7 who might come through into second place, really hard to pick.
Certainly is. I can see that the draw shot challenge will come into effect this week.
Could do.
Because obviously if there's a multiple pile up, then you're not going to be able to separate on head-to-head rankings.
No.
So the rankings will be decided by the draw shot challenge.
That's right. So just to be clear, because there have been some questions about this, how tie breaks happen. The first tie break is based on head-to-head record. Is Yasumi Morozumi. He's not sure if he's called timeout or not. He's kind of half ready to go. Do I go? Do I not go? No? Yes? Sit down, stand up, do the hokey pokey.
Half the minute has gone. JD Lynn.
Okay.
He's just run down. I don't know
Okay.
whether
The
he's
national
just going
coach,
instead.
national coach JD Lynn may be sprinting onto the ice surface. I'm pretty sure they've called timeout now.
No
No,
time
I
out.
don't,
Sorry.
they're shaking their head as
Or
if
are they? Maybe they haven't. No, we didn't mean it. No, we didn't. Well, this is entertaining.
I think they were maybe just calling the team up
Yeah,
together.
let's talk together.
So the clock should have kept running.
Right. Okay. So no timeout called. The team having a chat. But yeah, back to that tiebreaker scenario. So first tiebreaker, head-to-head records. So obviously if a team has more wins than another team, it's ranked ahead. The teams are tied on the same win-loss record. Then it goes to the games that they played against each other. So if they played each other in round robin, which obviously they did, If there's only 2 teams tied, the team that won the round robin game advances. If there are 3 or more teams tied, head-to-head records are still considered. So if there are 3 teams tied, and one of those teams won games against the other 2, they would be ranked higher.
Yep.
But if there was a 3-way tie and it's inconclusive,
That they've all beaten each
they've
other.
all beaten each other, then the draw shot distance comes into play. There are no tiebreaker games. That's how ranking is done at the World Championships.
And that's where now that draw shot challenge pre-game is so critical.
Absolutely.
That could put you in or out the championship come the end of the week.
Exactly right.
You know, years ago the pre-game practice was very much about sussing out the ice and making sure you're happy with your stones, etc., etc.
Not
But
anymore.
now that draw shot's very important. And all 4 players are involved in it, which is really good.
Exactly.
Japan have chosen to freeze the yellow, try and make it difficult for Switzerland to remove.
Looks like it's gone over curl.
She was a great weight.
Nudges the Swiss stone back a foot, but Switzerland's still lying shot. And pretty easy play to remove the Japanese stone.
Well, the way this ends panning out, it's looking like Japan are going to be forced to take their one.
Well, at this stage, they'd almost be happy to score. They're looking at a pile here. Last thing the Japanese want to do is drop a steal of 2 or 3. It lights out. Alina Petz trying to remove that Japanese rock.
Oh, lovely shot. Really well played.
Surgical precision from Alina Petz. So Ronan, in this situation, looking at 4, are you just trying to move things around to make your last shot easier to score, or are you still trying to think of somehow generating a pair? Probably more
She's
the
not going
former
to
than the
move
latter.
all 4,
No.
but the ice she's giving, she's clearly hitting. You could just play a gentle tap back and force Switzerland to play a harder shot.
This one's not too gentle. She's trying to remove at least a couple of Swiss stones.
But we've seen that tonight with a couple of her shots, that she's happier to go for the bigger weight rather than the tap.
Moves them
She's
around a
actually
bit.
left Switzerland lying shot.
Yep, so it'll be interesting. Yeah, Alina Petz just says, oh, those hit it, but there's some risk of jams in the back. It's not risk-free. Kitazawa looks on. Have a look from overhead on the angles here on contact. I think she was looking to get just right to nose to sit right in front of the Swiss stone,
Yeah.
but just fractionally across nose. So Alina Petz, her target area is probably just trying to hit about a quarter of the rock just to try and chip it out without jamming on her own. Lots of weight from Petz.
Oh, on that very quickly. Oh no, they're okay. Just a panic call.
Yep, panic call still going out. Nicely played by Alina.
Savannah's laughing.
Sorry,
You're
guys.
frightening me. She must have been sliding tight, but actually played it out. So
Made the adjustment. As a good skip does, or a good 4th stone.
oh, it's all about how you correct it.
Yeah. know your slide, know what to do at release.
So a nose hit. Against 3.
Yeah, big shot here for Kitazawa. Just to keep them in the game. Clean's a good sign.
Clean, that's good.
Nice single point for Japan. Clutch hit and stick there from Akua Kitazawa. But mission accomplished for Switzerland. They get the force. That single point by Japan ties the game up, but Switzerland will have last rock advantage coming into the 10th. We are tied up at 6.
3からいく？もう1になっちゃった。まあそれはそれで。
1から3でも3から1でも、どっちかに置ければ置けるわ。わかるから。3まで持ってこう。Ja, ja, plötzlich, als ich so hoch gesehen habe, habe ich das Gesicht gesehen und eigentlich tut es zu fest. Dann so nicht zu fest. Sorry. Der Benni gehört, bis ins Haus hat irgendjemand gesagt, hast du Durchfall gehabt? Nee. 動きがややこしかった。結構時間ある。ずっと中島抜かれて。だってもうブラシ買って始めたの1分だから何らんないし。めっちゃ面白い。
Welcome back to the Silkeborg Sports Center. Session 17 at the LGT World Women's Curling Championships. Our feature game, Japan, Switzerland. We are tied at 6. Switzerland with the hammer in the 10th end. Pressure really goes on the leads in this situation. Japan throwing guards, and Switzerland will try tick shots. Stone in the free guard zone. Now Melanie Barbazalt being asked to nudge the Japanese stone, push it off the center line, but not out of play. Otherwise it comes back. Intensely looking. Sweeping for curl now. She's got some contact. That's a very nice shot by Melanie Barbazalt.
Oh, great shot. She couldn't have placed it any better.
Yeah, that's a potential game-winning shot. Teams practice that shot a lot because it's now the key defensive weapon when you've got last rock, when you're trying to control the end. Asami Ishiguka. And we'll get one more chance to place a center guard before the end of the free guard zone phase of the end. Let's take a live look at Korea and China.
And Korea line 1. You have the chance to draw for 2. You need to bite the forefoot to level this game.
Oh, did they leave this one too long?
They need to pass the top guard.
Yes, they do, and it's a little bit light as well.
What a missed opportunity there.
It comes up short.
You go that wider on the sheet. You need that ounce of running to get it in the big swing.
Yep, out in the weeds.
So China lead 10-9 going into the 10th end with the hammer.
What a game that is. A festival of scoring over in that game. Well, this end is looking intriguing. That is not what the Swiss wanted, leaving a center guard.
No.
Japan now with a great chance to stack them up a little bit.
Yeah, Japan need to put a longer guard out, try and give some separation between the two guards.
And this is a tough shot. So guard's a pretty easy stone, but trying to throw a really long guard, both getting it onto the center line and just over the hog line is not a shot you play very often in the game. This one is actually going to come quite a lot deeper than I think they would have liked, but not bad. Sitting, straddling the center line. It's a pretty good shot, actually. And we see the handshakes. Russia running that one out. 7-4 winners over Scotland. So Russia squarely in the playoff picture. Huge win for Alina Kovaleva and company, and disappointment for Sophie Jackson and her Scottish team. Well, after initially looking at running the yellow guard, Savannah Teranzoni is asking Esther Neuenschwander to play the front stone.
Yeah, they look.
Nose, jam, jam.
Oh,
Stones
and the
going
back one.
everywhere. My gosh.
Wow.
Wow.
She just wanted to touch them all.
Esther playing a bit of pinball.
They wanted to take the back one initially because it would be the one that most danger.
The back guard.
Yes, because the long one you could come round. But that's a pretty good clear up job.
Red, yellow, yellow,
Everybody
bounce
just
it off the
stands and watches.
wall, roll around, kill another one.
Yeah, Japan just have to ignore what's in the head at the moment. Just keep putting up the guards. Try and force an error.
Trying to draw around the guard the guard.
Yeah, that guard's too long for them to be. It would be no use to them. Because you could come round on both hands past the guard. So they need that one closer to the rings to use.
It's almost like they have to bury the guard so Switzerland can't run it. Neuenschwander.
Oh, another double takeout there.
Esther Neuenschwander cleaning house. Yep, had it all the way. Great shots by Esther Neuenschwander. Chiaki Matsumura trying to stack a second guard.
Let's try and bury it fully behind.
Exactly. It's not often you say to a guard, it's really important you bury it. This one again, well clear. Want to keep it pretty high in the house.
Even if it's just 12 foot,
That's not bad.
they could have actually swept that to try and bury it.
Quick look at the standings now. That Russian win has qualified them. So Russia now at 8-3, Sweden now at 9-1. Those two teams are already qualified. Korea, they're looking at a loss against China, and so if China wins that game, China would go to 7-4. Korea would drop to 7-3. If Korea wins, they would move up level with Russia. Well, one behind actually at 8-2. So.
And if Switzerland win here, they'll go up to 7.
Yeah.
It's a party up
It is
there.
a party in the 7-win zone. Teranzoni trying to clear the guard. Clears the front, so that's actually kind of good news for the Japanese.
I don't think they want to get sucked in too early.
One more guard.
Yep. Put another high guard.
Can actually wait till Kitazawa's final stone to go around.
2じゃない？うん、2の気が
So
する。
right now it's protect that guard at the top 12 foot.
ちょうど真ん前に置きたい。
やるよ。
2半。ちょっと近め。
近かったのでいいかな。だいぶ良さそうだけど、ちょっと回りすぎ
Plenty of weight on this
曲
one.
がってるよ。止まってきてるよ。
She'd like it just past halfway, but it's really about the line. Need to cover that stone in the ring. That's not bad.
17.2。
Not bad.
Yep, good placement there.
So,
Because
what
it's
is-
that one that's top of the 12 foot that's the danger stone for Switzerland.
Absolutely.
But they don't want to try risking hitting that and they flash everything, because then they'd be in big trouble.
Definitely. Looks like Tiranzoni wants to clear the stone just delivered by Matsumura, the long guard. Coming right down to the wire this game. Nice shot by Tiranzoni. Clears the front. I think Japan heard the word timeout. I'm not sure if they've actually called it or not.
ここよりも。いや、うん。
I don't think they have. Well, this time Yusuke's getting up, so maybe they have.
相手、
あいつ多分前切ってくる。
最後。
They have called timeout.
フリーズ？前切られる。5に置く。
フリーズしたら多分追っかけてくるかな。
でもそしたらもう一回追っかけ
そうだね、これでね。フリーズした後6に来たら。
タップしかない。
そうだね。
でももう一個ガード置けないし。もう一回
それがガードは置けない。
Haven't
ガードは置
even
けない。フリーズかね、
discussed
6
the
かどっ
guard
ちか
yet.
だね。
6もあり。
T にフリーズ？でもそしたらダブルか。
うん。
どっちの方がいいかな。
フリーズの方が面白いは面白いね。
うん。
フリーズにしてみる。なかったら6ね。
A の B で、
C はなりたくない。
どっちから投げるの？
こっち。こっち。
フリーズにしよう。どっちからやる？
こっちじゃない。こっちはちょっと。
いいよ、分かってる方が。
Players
ここに
still looking
6だった時に
in the rings.
そうだね、そっちの方が悪く。
I'm a little disappointed. I mean, great freeze, great shot if they make it, but
久々だね。
もうちょっと中でいいや。
you've been trying to set this whole end up to get around something on your last. And
Yeah,
I would have thought a guard on the guard would be the shot
Absolutely.
here.
If you're Switzerland right now, you're delighted they're coming in because you run that red straight back, split everything. You're hitting in the house. You're not trying to clear out front.
Yeah.
So I would have put another long guard on here.
Me too.
There's no way Switzerland are going to call your bluff and come around.
No.
So I like the long guard. But they've chosen to come around. So they're going to come around top tee or they're going to come around and freeze. What?
Saw them pat the brush in 2 or 3 different places. I think they're going for button. Kui Kitazawa. Getting late in the game, it might be fudging up a little bit down the slide path. 13-3 on the draw. It's got lots of weight, lots of weight. It's got some backing though. It will come back to the Swiss stone. Sits right in front of it. But the forefoot is open for Alina Petz, and timeout now being called by Nguyen Schwander. Alina has missed a couple of draws earlier in the game. I'm sure she'd love to have an open hit for the win. Who wouldn't?
Ja, einfach sicher Schott an dem.
Nicht an dem Shot.
Shot vor der T-Line. Genau,
Genau.
genau da.
Wir müssen Shot sein.
Ja,
Ja.
ist gut.
Sonst, wenn wir da sind, ist...
Ist nicht gut.
Ja, jetzt,
Ich finde es gut. Kannst du schon mal legen.
Ich habe 13,5
Vorne
gehabt,
4.
hinten auch.
Nicht genau
Beisser Dolly,
Freeze, hä?
Beisser
Ja.
Dolly. So finde ich nicht gut.
nein, ich kann nicht, aber
Würde
das ist
ich auch
besser,
nicht,
als
ja.
wenn wir
Vorne
nicht
4.
Shot
Das ist gut.
So.
Ja.
Alle.
Ich glaube, das lange vom Eis.
Ist gut, ja. Ich habe nichts gefunden, ist nicht schlecht gelaufen. Was willst du sagen?
Ja, 90.
Ein 90er, ja.
Team Japan
Schon die Vivi kann ich nicht.
hoping.
Beisser Dolly.
Ja, aber das
90.
Kannst du noch mal machen?
kann man überall.
Ah,
90 ist recht näher.
Ich habe das
finde ich
Gefühl,
gut.
ja.
Das machen wir gut.
Vorne 4 bis Dolly. 90.
Alina Petz. Not having a champagne night on the draws, but a really important one right now.
Linie ist gut. Platzhänder.
Yep, stats don't matter. It's playing the key shot at the right time. It
Exactly
does.
right.
Finden
And
gut.
this is a key shot.
Ist alles bei euch. Beisser Dolly. Wechseln. Achtung, jetzt müssen wir. Fest. Länger ist gut, länger ist gut. Ja, Melli, noch ein bisschen, komm. Ziehen. Länger ist fest.
Comes front button, behind cover.
Really nice shot.
Very nice shot. So for Japan, after you committed to playing that freeze, strategy would say you just have to try and chip Petz's stone out and make her throw that again.
But as we've seen tonight, they haven't been too tempted to throw that just tap back weight.
Well, I don't even think you'd have to throw tap back weight, Rona. You could just throw normal takeout weight at the yellow, pick it out.
それかこっちからドロー微妙ないか。
ないね。
Could run back the red stone on the 12-foot straight back into the yellow, but that's a higher risk shot.
オッケー。12半。
Don't need to steal two, just need to steal one.
So to play it a nice weight, come down, tap the yellow out to the side, keep their shooter at the edge of the 4 foot to lie 2,
あんまり速くならないですよ。
and Alina Pats couldn't open hit. She would have to hit and roll to get the
Yes,
shot. She wouldn't be able to
exactly.
nose hit. So I think the gentle tap and lie 2 would be a great shot.
It would be. Yep. You would need to throw a back line, and we just overheard her saying back line as she's getting to the hack. So we think trying to hit the Swiss stone about half of it with about back line weight and leave her own shooter sitting around where that brush is right now. Tough shot.
Well, I don't think she's high.
It's definitely not wide. The sweepers are going to have to work really hard to get this by. They're by. That's a good shot. Rolls it away.
Actually overswept it in
They
the
actually
end.
did oversweep it in the end. You're right, Rona. Japanese bench looking on. It all comes down to this.
Okay.
Alina Petz has the exact same shot that she just threw to win the game.
Sie ist das gleich, oder?
Ja.
Gut.
Needs full 4 foot.
Vorne 4 bis T-Line. 90.
Has backing.
Finden sehr gut.
Always good to play the same shot twice.
Lauf
Linie ist kein
Gräter, hä?
Problem.
Ist
It
alles
is
bei
on
euch.
its way.
Viel Platz, sieht länger aus.
Ist gut.
Oh, nein, Esther, nein, nein, sicher nicht du.
Ist gut.
Sieht lang aus.
Sweepers.
Kann gar nicht.
Have not laid a brush to it.
Oh,
Das ist gut, das ist gut.
Will it come to a rest or not? Has it come to rest? Just
wow.
by the barest of margins, Alina Petz draws the 4 foot for the win. A millimeter away from a loss. It just curls enough. And Switzerland take the win by a 7-6 score. Heart-stopping stuff. Sweepers didn't lay a brush to it the whole trip. Switzerland just hoping that the stone would curl enough, and it just did. Switzerland get the win, but man, oh man, was it close. Heart-racing stuff at the Silkeborg Sports Center at the LGT World Women's Curling Championship. And while that was going on, China prevailing with an 11-9 barn burner over Korea. So a huge win for China. That gets them into the playoff race. It's all happening on a Thursday night in Silkeborg. Our feature game was an absolute barn burner. Switzerland 7-6 winners over Japan. Play in the 8th end. Japan lying 3. Tough final stone for Switzerland's Alina Petz. Tiranzoni comes up to join the sweep. They're worried about it being light, but they drag this one into the forefoot, and Switzerland scores a point. 9th end. Now it's Japan facing 3 counters. Ikua Kitazawa has to hit and stick to score, which she does. In the 10th end, Japan with a freeze. Alina Petz needs to draw the forefoot to win the game. It is a little heavy. It is a little wide. It is almost sliding by, but it just stops. And Switzerland take a 7-6 win. Here are all of the session 17 games. Switzerland 7-6 over Japan. Sweden 8-3 winners over Germany. Russia with a big 7-4 win over Scotland, and China 11-9 over Korea. Tomorrow is the final day of the round robin. Playoffs are starting to settle down, and here's how it stacks up right now. Sweden on top, they've qualified. They're at 9-1. Russia qualified. They're at 8-3. Korea now dropped to 7-3. Switzerland move up to 7-3. They're in 3rd and 4th place. China dropped to 7-4. Canada, Japan, United States, all at 5-5. Germany, Scotland at 4-6. Denmark, Finland, and Latvia rounding out the 13-team field.
Silvana, many congratulations. Your 7th win. How are you feeling about that performance?
Again, it was so close, so it cost us some nerves, but I'm so happy that Alina made that last rock, so feeling is great.
And do you think the steal in the 6th end was a turning point for the game?
For sure, it's always good to go ahead in the even ends, so that was for sure a turning point.
And you seem to have found that winning rhythm now. 2 games left tomorrow. Will you change anything for tomorrow?
No, we just keep fighting. It's still a bit of a struggle out there, so we are missing, here and there. So we try to avoid those easy misses and just keep going and try to get better with every game.
Well, many congratulations. Thank you.
So a relieved Silvana Tiranzoni and a terrific night of curling on Thursday night in Silkeborg. We're really glad you've joined us for the LGT World Women's Curling Championships. For Rona Howie, I'm Hans Fraunlob. Good night from Silkeborg.